Hello and welcome to episode 218 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now coming up on today's episode is a huge couple of guests for me. There is no denying, and you will know this by now by listening to any previous episode of Mark and Me, how much I love and adore the band Thrice. For me, they're my favourite band of all time. Every person out there has that one band that you just absolutely love and adore. Everything they release, you're just so excited by. Live, I think they're one of the best live bands out there. And for me, previously, to have sat down and recorded 3 episodes with Dustin, it felt absolutely awesome that on today's episode, I can sit down and talk to Eddie and Riley. This was recorded in person at the most recent 2000 Trees Music Festival. You may have heard from the last 4 previous episodes, I conducted 12 interviews over a couple of days there and had one of the best weekends of my life. To see Thrice headline after 2 years worth of delays due to COVID was a dream come true. Their set was fantastic, the sound was unbelievable, and it was just an amazing end to a perfect day. So what I want to do now is to get straight to it. So here's me, Riley and Eddie talking all things music. I'm here with Riley and Ed from the incredible headlining band tonight, Thrice. So, first of all, guys, what I want to do is for the listeners out there is take it right back to the early days. Tell me when you were growing up, maybe you were a kid with your pocket money or something, those first albums that you remember buying that made you fall in love with the bands you listen to today. What was that one that shaped your kind of passion for music?
It's tough for me. The first record that I remember shelling out my own money for was actually Beastie Boys' License to Ill.
That's an incredible album.
I was kind of a hip-hop head growing up, so it doesn't really inform the stuff we do now. But that was my gateway to buying music, and then over the years that spun into buying metal and prog and getting into the Fat Records and Epitaph Records bands and into the stuff that I listen to today.
How about you?
I have like a specific memory of buying Metallica Master Puppets.
That's so cool at the moment with Stranger Things. Everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Riley had been around that time, had some friends that started playing guitar. Then we ended up borrowing a guitar, and that was really like both of our first time playing guitar, kind of introducing us to that side of music other than playing it in band at like a school or whatever, or and just kind of falling in love with rock and instrumental music, and the way Metallica had a very cool way of orchestrating music that I think really like stuck out to us, dynamics and cool stuff that we probably still are inspired by today.
And the thing is, what I really find is when you go and see your first kind of performance of a band, you may have been quite young growing up in your teenage years, but those first gigs where your rib cage kind of shakes, the hairs on your neck stick up, and you think, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Can you remember that? If it's not a cool band, we can pretend it was, but who was that first show you went to where you thought, I'm only going to do this for the rest of my life? Like, there's no other, I'm not going to go and work in a shop. This is what I want to do.
Sticking with the hip-hop theme, my first like real big concert was actually MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and Salt and Pepper.
I see that in Thrice's sounds so much.
Yeah, you can clearly see the
definitely
influences.
On the new album, yeah.
But they had like live bands backing them, and just seeing that in a live setting with like, it was at an arena, so it was like 10,000 people, and it was just electric in there, and something about the feeling of like the PA just pumping that actual band rocking out really resonated with me. And then it didn't click as far as like, oh, I want to do this, until I got into the punk rock stuff and started seeing like Bad Religion and Strung Out and NoFX and Propagandhi. And
wow.
Anytime that any of the Fat Records or Epitaph Records bands toured in Southern California, I would be there. I followed Strung Out around like it was the frickin' Grateful Dead for like a week. Like
That's dedication.
Punk rock gave me
Yeah.
like the itch to start playing.
It's hard for me to like narrow it down early.
Yeah.
Late, it kind of later for me. It hit me. There's a band called No Knife. That was kind of my like maybe what was your like Strung Out or Bad Religion. For me, it was like I was into a lot of heavy rock music, like Metallica, Pantera, Sepultura, like all that kind of stuff. And then this band kind of like broke my mind a bit from being like I like heavy, hard music to being like, oh, like I like orchestration. I like the way people develop songs and the little things that you don't maybe hear the first time you listen to a record pops out the next time. But yeah, No Knife is like one of my favorite bands of all time. If you haven't heard them, I mean they're kind of obscure. They're kind. Yeah, if you, I mean, even to our newest record, Horizons East, like you'll hear it.
Yeah.
In us, like no shame in like really like being inspired by them. Yeah.
And with the whole kind of being 2 years off the scene with just this pandemic and not being able to do what you love the most, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but you basically did it yourselves with Tepe and Dustin, got round and did the DIY approach, and you built this album from scratch. It must have been such a head fuck because you were probably thinking, are we ever going to get to play these songs live? Because this was cancelled, then it was cancelled again, and then it was like, am I ever going to get to see these songs live? But you're the actual people that wrote them, so does it feel like there's this light at the end of the tunnel now that we're sat here today and it is actually happening? It's not going to cancel.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we did have a point where we were just kind of like, well, what? I think the timeline of the record actually ended up extending a little bit longer than we would have done, which ended up being kind of a good thing in some ways. But like, I do think we were like, well, when does this start again? Will it start again? I mean, every show we're like, is something gonna happen now? It kind of like makes you not take for granted every show.
Yeah.
Every healthy moment that you have, you know, and being able to be back here, travel in the UK and Europe, we've just been so happy to be back. It's really nice.
I've been following you guys on Instagram and I've been seeing like all these amazing places in Europe and stuff, but it does come with kind of a sacrifice. There's obviously missing family and friends and the travel, but you're sometimes cursed as well, like stuff gets lost and stuff breaks down and there's delays, but has it all been worth it to come here today and headline 2000 Trees?
Yeah, this is mental.
Yeah.
I mean...
it's real, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we've never headlined a festival before, to my knowledge, unless it was like some weird random like BMX festival in like the outskirts of Canada or something like that. But like, this is a real festival, legit, with bands that we love on the bill today and yesterday and tomorrow, and headlining it is amazing and kind of horrifying in a way. And we have to play after Turnstile, which is like one
I've
of the
never
biggest...
seen Turnstile, but everyone is telling me just get down there and watch them because they're fucking awesome. I'm like, Thrice needs to follow that, you know?
Yeah.
The buzz for that band at the moment is on another level.
Everybody will get to go crazy for like one of the biggest rock bands on the planet right now. And then the old guys will come out and play some old songs, and the people who want to see that can stick around to see that, and that's totally fine with us. Like, we're stoked to be here.
The thing is, what I love about it as well, last night, Jimmy Eat World, a band that have been going over 20 years. For me, Clarity is a textbook album. Like, the production, the sound, the guitars, it's the reason I picked up a guitar and wanted to play. Yeah. You guys, over 20 years now, which is mind-blowing. Your back catalogue, for me, there's never been a band that have evolved, apart from Radiohead, as good as you guys. If you listen to your early stuff and now you listen to the new album, you don't think it's the same band. It's fucking incredible. You've all improved in your musicianship. Dustin's vocals have got broader. Tepe's guitar tones are just on another level, and you just have evolved. But I still reckon that you guys must be shitting yourself, because you're looking at that poster thinking, we've got to headline. I don't mean to scare you guys, but it's real. You must be like, Jimmy Eat World last night, I've got tonight, we've got Idols tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like, You deserve to be there, but it must still be daunting.
It doesn't. I mean, it's surreal.
Yeah, I feel like we've never been a band that really like hit it super big. We've just been consistent, and I guess that's paid off. I don't really know how to.
You deserve this moment. It's warranted. You're headlining this, and you watch. It will be absolutely rammed like it was last night for Jimmy Eat World. And that's because of the hard work. You know, I had Incubus on the podcast recently, and I said to Brandon Boyd, you've done over 20 years.
Yeah.
You deserve the right to be this headline act. And you do. You need to take this and be like a pat on the back.
Yeah. It's hard. Just we're very self-critical, and but we also love playing music, and there really isn't any end to the amount of inspiration that we have from bands around us, or ideas. We're always like cutting ideas when we're making albums because we have so many, which is a great thing to have 20 plus years in. So,
and what do you think it is that kind of keeps you guys going? I know you went on hiatus and had a bit of a break, and I know the touring schedule isn't as full on as it used to be, so it's like you've got families and kids and wives and everything else that comes with it now, but you guys still seem as hungry. You've just done this new album, and I already know that your second album to follow up this, West, is almost finished. Almost.
It's less finished than we would like.
Yeah, the plans kind of changed, but for good reason.
Yeah.
And
but you're busy. You must be still loving it. You're doing it.
Absolutely. We're able to focus more on touring on East because we're not immediately jumping to West, which is, I think, is important because
we're really proud of the record.
Yeah, we're happy
incredible.
with the record.
Colour in the Sky as an opener is absolutely incredible, and the sound that you've got for Robot Exorcism, and I know people say, it's Radiohead because of the kind of guitar bit that sounds quite sort of
it's an odd time signature, and it's got like an arpeggio.
But no song's the same. You've got Scavengers, you've got all these songs that just it's like a best of Thrice album. It's got a bit of everything. It's the Alchemy Index, it's got the early stuff, it's got Beggar's sound, and I think it's because you guys are just doing what you want. You're not getting told how to write the perfect radio pop song, and you don't need to.
Yeah, that's never really been an interest of ours. No matter how hard it's been pushed upon us by certain labels over the years, we've always been a band that shares the writing process equally. Everybody listens to different music individually, and the thing that makes us is that we bring ideas from 4 different brains and we try to filter them through the Thrice collective and see what happens. So like, even if like somebody writes some crazy heavy thing, it'll get put through the ringer in Thrice and we'll somehow end up somewhere different. Or if it's something super mellow, it'll be like, well, how do we make this more dynamic and more heavy? And that's just the way we've always done it. It's kind of the only way we know how to do things. And it's been really, really satisfying for us creatively. And that's kind of all we're looking for in doing this, is like satisfying ourselves creatively, hoping that people come along for the ride with us. And we've been extremely lucky that people have stuck with us through all the ups and downs and weirdness.
I was gonna say, like with the single stuff and radio stuff and all that influence from the outside. Like Riley said, we usually kind of ignore it, but also it's like the development of the song and the exploration is always kind of the higher emphasis in writing the music. So maybe one of those days that will make some sort of single, but like it won't.
Black Honey is a single. That's the most radio friendly kind of. It's got the chorus that you're just humming along to. You tap in while you drive, and you're like, but
none of that was even in the discussion at all.
And even the producer that we were working with didn't think it was a single.
No.
So which is hilarious because like there's always like the few songs that were like, okay, these ones are going to be the ones that were kind of hone in a certain direction, or not us, but usually the producer is thinking that. And with Black Honey, it wasn't that at all. We were like, oh, this is kind of like song that kind of reminds us of like maybe Me Without You meets like Color Revolt. I don't like, and that's like a happy accident, and I think that's how we would rather do it. You know,
course.
like.
And what's really cool is the last time I saw you guys play, you shared the stage with one of my favorite bands, Refused, and it was fucking incredible. Dennis as a frontman is just, he's been on the podcast, he's an absolute god. And I was like, when they come back, how are they going to top this? And you're like, here's Coed in Cambria. I'm like, oh my god, like it's exciting times. Like I love the co-headline tour because it's like 2 for the price of 1. It's incredible. You must be really excited to get back on the road, come to the UK and share the stage every night with another band that are just, for me, absolute legends.
Yeah, I mean, we've toured with those guys probably 3 times in the States, 2 or 3 times. We've toured with them over here. So they're friends from way back when. Like when we first were taking them out, they were just getting started as a band. And now they're like playing these massive arenas back home and they're doing really well over here. And their new record is out and it like sold like crazy, and it's like they're at a peak as a band right now, and it's just been awesome to watch, and that they're good friends from way back when is like to be reunited with them and do it again after almost 20 years is like, it's the best.
Does it feel like 20 years? You know, I know you guys have been going. Does it feel fresh still? Does it? The fact that you're doing your DIY records at home and you're getting together and enjoying it, and not, you know, you're not wanting to quit. Does it feel like a new life? The fact that you're headlining a festival, you're doing these UK tours, you're going around Europe, you're doing those 4 nights that sold out in about 10 minutes for your...
the illusion of safety.
That's crazy. Yeah. I was like, another added date. It must feel like you're starting out again because the buzz is there.
It's hard to make sense of, and I kind of try not to.
Try not to think about it.
I mean, I think, if you try to project that or make sense of it or anything, it kind of ruins the experience maybe, or like the way that you write in the future or the way that the process goes. So just try, kind of ride the, I don't know, whatever. The
Thrice wave.
The Thrice wave, whatever. But I just think we're super fortunate, and I think that we have a lot of fans that have really valued what we desire to create in music, and we're again so grateful for that, because I don't think we would still be a band if we didn't have the freedom to do whatever the hell we want. Because that is the thing that keeps the ideas coming. It's like there's no limit to music, and if you're stuck in a box that you create because you had this one record that did well,
you just need
where's the inspiration in that? Like,
we can't recreate that same song 12 times for an album. Well,
right.
They'll do it, but their life's not going to last.
Yeah.
My final question for you guys, and it's not an easy one. Dustin's been on the show and had this 3 times, but what I do on the podcast is I let the guests choose the outro piece of music. So there's 2 of you, so we might have to do like an arm wrestle or toss a coin or something, or we'll just splice the 2. But it can be any band, any song, or any piece of music, a score from a film, whatever it is. But musicians find this the tough. So what's your choice, as this is all edited, it's out there for the world to listen to? What's that outro song that you would love, and a reason behind a song that you just absolutely adore, to go on the end of today's interview? Look at him.
Yeah, this is like
look at the mic. It's dropping the mic.
This is one that I need like a day to think about.
Musicians are like, I've got it down to 10, and then I'll, but I need one. The one that comes to your heart and soul when I ask the question.
Oh man,
I can see your brain going.
It's hard because I'm just going like, well, these are songs I really like, but what is a good like outro song?
Someone was struggling earlier today, and I said, look at it like this. It could be the song they play at your funeral, so it's got some meaning. And I was like, mine would be probably, oh my God, Jeff Buckley, Love You Should Have Come Over, or Last Goodbye. I love those vocals. I love the production by Andy Wallace. I love Jeff Buckley. So it's but
yeah.
Then as I say it out loud, I'm like, but there's so many other bands.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff Buckley is a good one. What I'm thinking is like albums that changed my life.
Yeah.
That's like Talk Talk, Laughing Stock, I don't know if any of those songs would work for this.
Dustin chose a song by Talk Talk.
Oh, really? Okay.
I can't remember which one, but there you go.
Do you have something, Ray? Okay.
I'm going to go with How to Disappear Completely by Radiohead.
God. My girlfriend's favorite song.
I have the lyrics tattooed on me. It got me through a lot of difficult points in my life. I would definitely have it played at my funeral.
That's a hell of a
It's
choice.
just soothing and atmospheric, and the lyrics can kind of be applied to anything. Like feeling like you're not here can be applied to something surreal, like headlining 2000 Trees
Yeah.
or like still being a band after 23 years or whatever. Also something difficult, like the death of a family member or something like that. So it's like this overarching theme.
I was lucky enough to see The Smile play 3 weeks ago.
Oh, man.
My God, how does Tom York do it yet again with only 3 people? That album is incredible. And live, I was looking behind, like, where's the session musicians? Where? And it isn't. It's just those 3. Him and Johnny
insane.
together.
Yeah.
Now you've got to top
Perfection.
that, dude. You've got to top that.
Yeah.
And look at the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
You should have gone first.
Yeah, I'm going to have a hard... Well, actually, I thought of something that's like a little bit less serious because maybe that's another option. A song that I just listened to before a show. Maybe this is the intro music. Just kidding. Iron Maiden, Aces High.
I'm going to use it as intro music.
The
'cause
intro
this is-
to that song, just that whole song is so good. We were just listening to it. Like, I popped my phone. I was like, I just had the thought in my head, and I was like, oh, how did they do that? And then we started listening together backstage, and we were just like, God, this is so good. So, yeah.
I'm going to use that as the intro
Okay.
piece, and then you've got your
There you
incredible
go.
Radiohead track.
Perfect, yeah.
Guys, I think we've ran over, but I'm not going to complain. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a
Thank
long
you.
time coming, and I can't wait to see the set tonight, guys. Thank you. So there it is. There's my interview with me, Eddie, and Riley from the best band on the whole planet, Thrice. This for me was an interview that I've been waiting for a long time. As you know, Dustin has been on the episode 3 times now, so it is so good to have an opportunity to talk to the other members of the amazing Thrice. Some incredible stories, such great guys, the chemistry was there straight away, and like I said at the start, their headline set for me was the highlight of the whole of 2000 Trees. They were just absolutely phenomenal and worth the 2-year wait. I really hope everyone that's listening today has had a great time and enjoyed these interviews as much as me. If you've really enjoyed the interviews, please share them on your social media channels. You can jump on Facebook and share the episode. On Instagram, you can share it on your stories, or on Twitter, you can retweet the episode. It really does go a long way, and you might just think it's a click of a button, but maybe then one of your friends discovers this podcast from just the tweet they saw or a Facebook comment, and before you know it, they're listening to Mark and me each and every week. So it's a free marketing tool, and it's all I ask for listening to this podcast. And if you've really enjoyed today's episode, I do have a Patreon account. This helps the running of Mark and me on a day-to-day basis, allows me to go out there and interview people across the country. Not only that, I have hosting costs so I can put the podcast on Podomatic and Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and all the different directories I can. So any support that you can give this podcast via Patreon really does go a long way and really helps me. And all the links are on markandme.com. If while listening to this you've never heard Thrice, please do yourself a favour, go and see them. They're playing in the UK later this year with Coheed and Cambria as a joint headline tour, but go and listen to everything they've ever released. I mean this, there is no band for me that has evolved like these. They are absolutely phenomenal, and to start at the beginning and work all your way through to their most recent album is just an incredible journey. So please, if you discovered Thrice because they're listening to this interview today, let me know, because I love reading those sort of comments. I'll be back in only a few days' time with a brand new episode, so until then, listen to Thrice, take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you all very soon. that's not me. I go where I please. I walk through walls. I float down the living. I'm not here. This isn't happening. I'm not here. I'm not here. In a little while, I'll be already passed. Yeah, it's gone. And I'm not here. This isn't